All right, I want to spend some time talking about brain fog, the cognitive decline, and all the brainy symptoms that happens during perimenopause. So, if you're looking for information on that, you are definitely in the right place. I am Nancy Shah, the midwife of midlife. I'm a psychologist and I have a private practice where I see mainly perimenopausal women. But in my online coaching biz, I create resources like this for women like you to help you not only address your symptoms, but to actually begin to use your symptoms as a catalyst for change to help you up level what I like to call your second adulthood and to make sure that you're vibrant, happy, feeling alive, and really living the life of your dreams into your 70s, 80s, 90s, and beyond. It is never too late. And here's where you're going to find all the juicy resources you need to make that happen for you. Let's talk about brain fog. It's really interesting because every time I set an intention to record a video on a particular symptom, I find that I struggle hard with that symptom for a couple of weeks. And so that is what has been going on. In fact, even recording this video has been very challenging. I think I'm on take 105, which is how old I hope to live till. So it's a good indicator. But anyway, yeah, I'm having a lot of word finding difficulty the last couple of weeks, like having trouble managing my schedule, forgetting things. It's been so frustrating. And so I think it's really timely that I'm doing this video today because I probably need what I'm about to share with you. So, what is really going on? You walk into a room, you can't remember why you were there, you're in a conversation with a friend. Literally, I was walking with a friend from one place to another. It was a 5-minute walk, and I had literally 3 things I couldn't figure out the name for. It's out of control. What's going on really? Of course, we're going through this estrogen drop, and estrogen and serotonin are paired up together. So when estrogen drops, serotonin drops, and that can cause a lot of symptoms like depression, mood swings, even temperature regulation issues. But if we're kind of in a depressive phase, or we're not in a great spirit, or we're having mood swings, it's very distracting and can take our cognitive abilities offline just from that perspective. But also, there's a lot of new research coming out that suggests that there are actual real structural changes that are happening in the brain at this time in our lives. It's called pruning, and it happens 3 times in our lives. One, and it's the 3 Ps. I'm getting this actually from this great book that I think I read by Dr. Lisa Mosconi called The Menopause Brain. And she talks about the 3 Ps: puberty, pregnancy, perimenopause. And it is these 3 times in our lives that we actually begin to shed outdated neural networks that we no longer need. So in puberty, we shed all the neural networks that we need to learn the skills of childhood into adulthood. And then we hit puberty, whatever, at 12, and we prune out the neural networks that we needed to learn how to tie our shoe, etc., learn how to read, what's 2 plus 2. We shed those so that we have more neural networks online for our reproductive functioning, right? And then when we're in pregnancy, we shed all the neural networks that we needed to develop into adulthood, right? From 12 until we have our first pregnancy, for could be any time. But for me, it was like late 20s, early 30s. And so I shed all the neural networks that I needed to go to graduate school and to be very intellectual in this learning environment. And then the minute I got pregnant, boom, like my brain was not functioning at the level that it was before I got pregnant. And I was really dumbed down. I remember being like so confused. I was doing my, graduate studies and my internships, and it was so frustrating, right? But In puberty and pregnancy, everyone around you is very positive about the changes that are happening to you, right? Like in pregnancy, people are throwing parties for you. When you're going through puberty, your mom's making photo albums of how cute you are in your graduation clothes and your first prom and like your baseball, your softball team, whatever it is. Like there's so much validation from the people around us that, oh, this is just temporary. Oh, cute. You're in pregnancy. You're gaining weight and you're dumb. We love you because you're so pretty. You know what I mean? There's a baby coming. It's all this exciting stuff. There's showers. And anyway, you get my drift. We get into perimenopause, and it's like there's no parties for us. There's no validation. People don't even want to celebrate our birthday anymore unless we organize the party for ourselves. Isn't it? For real? We go through these changes, but it's really way more disturbing and it's way more isolating at this time period than the other two P's. And it can really wreak havoc on our self-esteem. And when we have changes in puberty and pregnancy, we know we're going to get that back. But I feel like there's not enough dialoguing about the brain changes in perimenopause until recently. Thank God for doctors like Lisa Mosconi, who are raising the awareness and making the conversation more easily accessible. But as we go through these changes now, all we think to ourselves is like, oh, this is the rest of my life. I'm showing early signs of dementia. And that is really depressing thoughts, right? So that's what's going on. So it is temporary, even though sometimes it doesn't feel like it. In perimenopause, I feel like it lasts longer. Puberty, it probably lasts a long time. But in pregnancy, yeah, it probably lasts a long time too. But I feel like it's longer in perimenopause. We go through perimenopause for 10, 15 years, some of us. So it can be very disturbing. So I've come up with a way of reframing it that I actually came up with when I was pregnant, but now that interpretation is helping me a lot. And so I wanted to share it with you. What I think is happening now is when our intellectual mind goes offline, we actually can't rely on it as much as we could in the past. So it almost forces us into a more intuitive and heart-centered existence where we are forced to start living a more present moment focused life. So it brings us to a place of mindfulness, whether we like it or not, if we go along with the program instead of resisting it at every turn and pathologizing ourselves at every turn. Because think about it, these episodes that I've been having with brain fog, certainly I could let my inner critic come online and really beat myself up about it, right? And just like torture myself around it. Or I can use it as an opportunity to come into a greater acceptance with myself and to hopefully take time to build a better relationship with myself, even if I'm not as smart as I used to be. And I can't rely on my intellectual capacities as much as I could in the past. And frankly, I think wisdom is where we're needed right now in society as a whole, is to be the wise leaders of our tribe, to put it in more of a evolutionary perspective. Like postmenopausal women in the tribe were there to be in a support and leadership role, not as much in the grind of the laboring and the making food and the making clothes and the raising the babies. Postmenopausal women were more in the leadership role. And wisdom does not come from our intellect. Wisdom comes from a deep inner knowing. And if you turn off the intellect and not make it less sharp, we're almost forced to live our lives from our deeper inner knowing. Does that make sense? So, things that you can do about your menopausal brain fog. Of course, I always want to validate the real medical steps that you can take. Please find yourself a good naturopath, find yourself a good OB/GYN to help you manage these symptoms, whether it's going on hormone replacement therapy or increasing the many supplements and dietary changes that you can make to help support your brain health. The number one being regulating blood sugar. There's so much research coming out these days about the link between blood sugar fluctuations and cognitive decline in old age. And so, if you can start now to find out what that means for your individual body, those steps are really going to pay off in your future. So, please address this from a physical perspective. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm focusing on the spiritual, psychological, and emotional aspects of brain fog. And for me, the things that you can do is number one, make sure you're getting good sleep, which is, of course, easier said than done. That's one of the symptoms of perimenopause, too, and could be adding to the brain changes that we're going through. If you're not sleeping well, of course, you're going to have brain fog. So, doing whatever you can to get your sleep dialed in is huge. And one of the things that has been shown to help sleep are meditation practices such as yoga nidra and doing regular meditation practices and stress management approaches. And so, to support you with this, I have just created a new midlife meditation club that I'd like to invite you into. It's a meditation club where we meditate live at least once a month. I follow my own energy with it. So we do at least once a month, but sometimes, like now, I'm doing a series of 6 weekly meditations. And in there, there's a bunch of recorded guided meditations that you can use to help support you in creating a meditation practice that really works for you. I think I have a really unique approach to meditation that really encourages you to make your meditation practice fun and exciting for you. And when you sign up for that meditation club, you also get a course that I've created that reflects my unique approach to meditation, which is called F Off I'm Meditating. And it's about meditation and setting boundaries and prioritizing yourself, which is one of the best things that you can do to manage your stress level, prioritize yourself, and combat these symptoms of brain fog. Because if you're in a harmonious place in your life where you're setting boundaries and you're taking care of yourself, then even if you are having some brain fog, you're not beating yourself up about it. You're creating a space for yourself to allow these important brain changes to be made without torturing yourself and belittling yourself about it. Instead, supporting yourself through it and making sure that you're prioritizing the right supports externally for yourself to make this brain fog and perimenopause journey something that is going to lead you to make choices today that are going to have massive payoff later in life. So I hope this helps. Please leave whatever comments or reactions you have in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And I'd also love to see you in the meditation club. So come on over and sign up. There'll be a link below. All right. Hope this helps. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.